Salutations, Utopians. Forgive my absence on YouTube lately. I've been working behind the scenes to improve certain factors that are going to, in the long run, benefit Global Utopia sports in unmeasurable ways. With that being said, I had to jump online real quick and give you guys a quick breakdown of my concerns and watching the prodigy and victim in Wembanyama develop before our very eyes. Very seldom do we see a generational talent, potentially even once-in-a-lifetime talent like Victor Wembanyama, as you all have witnessed in some degree. This guy can put the ball on the floor at 7'5", wingspan unlimited. But there's certain strategic approaches that I'm starting to really become concerned with when it boils down to how they're bringing him along in this league from a NBA standpoint, and then also with the San Antonio Spurs. First and foremost, I want to say I've never, like I alluded to earlier, there is very rarely a player of this magnitude with this level of machine support like Victor has. I remember O.J. Mayo, Andrew Wiggins, LeBron, obviously, with his games being on cable television. Wiggins had this country of Canada behind him. And even Dwight, for that matter, who was given a 60 Minutes interview in which his hype machine was so powerful, he thought he potentially was going to be able to change the NBA logo to a cross one day. Wemby fits that lineage of extremely heralded players entering the league. The first error that I started to see with Victor and the development team behind him was when he signed with Nike, them forcing a nickname on him. It just felt very prepackaged and kind of borderline corny. I hate to use that word just for the simple fact that the word corny insinuates that when a person says it, that they're the end-all be-all. And there's many versions of what we view as cool, to each his own. But I think people can agree in unison, forcing a nickname like the Alien, especially in today's woke culture, where the Washington Redskins had to change their name to the Commanders, calling an internationally born player an alien. So far, so good. They haven't had any problems. And me, I could care less. But it was very risky. Secondly, it's not very natural. I'm not going to call a guy the Alien every time he does something. Greek Freak flows. King James flows. The Alien, it's like, who's that again? He's a one-of-one talent who I think one day will join the company of, or at least has a high chance of joining the company of, the Kareems, the Tim Duncans, the LeBron James, Hakeem Olajuwons, just NBA royalty, MJ. So you can call him Wemby and it'll fly, because he's the type of guy that whatever he says goes. That's the kind of talent, if he really hits his ceiling, which is unlimited, being the size that he is with the style of play that he brings, you can call him whatever you want and he's going to run with it. The second violation I started to notice was them announcing that on the road games he was going to be rested. And it was ironic because recently Greg Popovich, on a road game against the Clippers, stated that the fans needed to stop booing. Middle of the game, grabbed the mic like it was a high school game and told the fans to stop booing. It's a little weird coming from a guy who initiated the whole rest load management movement, which ultimately cheated fans, especially for an internationally based franchise. You had people from all walks of the world coming to watch guys like Tony Parker from France and Tim Duncan from the islands, Argentinian-born star Manu Ginobili, superstar, and finding out that, oh, they might be resting tonight. And resting him on the road already as a rookie, another kind of head-scratching, not the greatest way to ingratiate yourself amongst the fans approach. Then fast forward to November 8th, and the NBA decides to feature his first NBA game at Madison Square Garden, knowing that the Spurs roster is not equipped to deal with such a juggernaut, perennial NBA Finals appearance team like the New York Knicks, potential NBA Finals team like the New York Knicks, who are designed to play many different styles and could very well, depending on schedule and depending on injuries, could be the last man standing even for a championship. And they chose to showcase his game over a potential Eastern Conference showdown between the Philadelphia 76ers and the Boston Celtics. Again, and then how it ended so terribly on a grand stage, the Spurs getting blown out. I just can't help but feel like, what are the league thinking? And now You fast forward and you think they're starting to hype this guy a little bit before they're ready to. If you're not completely ready to roll this guy out, and the time would be appropriate to completely roll him out would be when you have a roster ready to go for serious contention. Why are you showcasing him so aggressively? They need to nickel and dime his highlights. Make him a TikTok star until you're ready to make him a natural every night star. It's starting to slowly but surely rear its ugly head amongst the fans. What do you think the comments from Shaq recently where he stated, I don't understand the difference between him and Bobo. People are getting tired of this NBA royalty. It's like what Shannon Sharp was talking about with Russell Wilson his first year with the Denver Broncos, getting all this special preferential treatment. It's going to start garnering on some 48 laws of power. It's going to start garnering some extreme resentment. If you're the league, you might want to slow down. Cool it. Just show some highlights every once in a while. Sprinkle them in where you can. But this force feeding him before you're ready to make him an overnight. Ready to make him a nightly, attention grabber amongst the fans because he has a good roster. It's a little bit premature. That's all I gotta say. Global out.